Time to move on with our next speaker of the event. I like to call upon Swati to introduce the speaker of the next speaker. Thank you. Yeah, we have a second speaker, Aditya Rao, who is from the STP. Then we have a tea break. Then we have third speaker, Vikas Brahmavar. Sir, he's here. Then we have the fourth speaker, Siddhartha Panda from Walter. Then we have a panel discussion. Then we have a lunch break. Then we have a team Nemati presentation. Then we have one more speaker after the lunch, that is Jyotir Ranjan, Bolt Earth. Then the last speaker of the event, Dr. C. N. Manoj. So we have total 7 speakers, out of which 1 panel discussion and 1 presentation from Nemati. Thank you. The time as of now, it's up to 5:15 in the evening. Half an hour, yeah. Yes, sir. Schedule. Yes, sir, we'll do that. Swati, please.
Now it's time to introduce Mr. Aditya Rao. Aditya Rao is an entrepreneur by accident. He has had a career of 24 plus years with technology companies sales roles. He also has close to 3 decades of experience in running and managing RWS and has been either the secretary or president of apartments. He is currently the secretary of BAF Belanduru cluster of Bangalore Apartment Federation with over 110 members apartment complex. In 2018, when they had an issue with their STP, he evaluated about 28 STP vendors in Bangalore and found out they did not meet his expectations with their approach and the way of operating. This led to Greentivity, being incubated by him and his neighbor who has 26 years of experience in building, maintaining and operating large municipal STP, and rest is history. Public speaking, networking, problem solving, building high performance teams, people management are a few of his other strengths. Besides wanting to recycle and reuse water as much as possible. We welcome you, sir.
I think I look the same other than the new spectacle frames, and I recently had a haircut. Okay, good morning everyone. I'm the infamous Aditya Rao. In 2018, I didn't know what was the full form of an STP. Today I can't stop talking about them. Greentivity is a 4-year-old company. Today we are very active in 2 segments of the market. We serve about 86 apartment associations in Bangalore. We also do municipal STPs. Yeah, residential, corporate, industrial and municipal STPs is the area in which we address. Myself and Raghu addressed primarily the residential apartments. When you get to see Raghu, he's the guy with some new gadget now. Raghu runs...
Just 1 second, the presentations will be shared. You need not capture the photos with your mobile phones. Yeah, thank you. Sorry, sir.
So, Raghu Raman, my colleague here, runs the operations of all our municipal STPs. So, during the breaks or whenever, it makes more sense for you to network with him rather than me. Next slide, please. So, this is what I'm going to talk about. Why do we need STPs? The importance of bar screens, HVAC and plant biochemistry. Then we will talk about our residents' behavior and what is the impact it has on STPs. And then why you need to replace and not going on repairing equipment. And then we'll have a Q&A. Legislation and law. If you've acquired anything or built anything above 2,000 square meters in the 110 villages of Bangalore, by law, whether it is residential, industrial, commercial or whatever, you need an STP. Central Business District of Bangalore, it goes up to 20,000 square meters. All of us are aware of it. Violations lead to offenses. I'm very proud to say that whether it is my municipal STPs or my 86 apartment STPs, KSPCB hates me because they can't even find one issue with them. And in municipal STPs, the fines range from 75 lakhs to 3 crores per month. KSPCB and NGT, the plants that we operate, we pay zero. Next slide, please. This is how we rate STPs, and unfortunately, we've never been able to rate an STP even 5 out of 10. These are the parameters on which we rate STPs when we do our inspections and audits. And we've never been able to rate an STP, more than 5 out of 10. 9 out of 10 STPs that we visit have major issues. Next slide, please. So when you look at bar screens, this is the state of bar screens. I've chosen the prettiest of the photos, unlike my ugly face. So the problem starts here. And this particular one is a very prestigious apartment, and for the last 2.5 years, the bar screen has been like that only. Next slide, please. These are a few other examples of the bar screens. So if a bar screen fails, what happens? Or if the bar screen is in this condition, what happens? And 99.999% of the builders give you bar screens fabricated out of MS and not SS. Next slide, please. So constant clogging of equipment you have. And now post-COVID, I'm a pet lover myself. I've got an 8 kg cat. And every time I brush him, there's about one pillowcase full or one bag full of hair that comes in. The number one issue in apartments today is pet hair. All this clogging that you see is pet hair. Pet hair, human hair, so on and so forth. So that's why bar screens are important. It takes 2.5 hours to dismantle a piece of equipment and unclog it. That's 2.5 hours of processing time that you've lost. So if you compare an STP to a kitchen, 2.5 hours of cooking time you've lost. Next slide, please, sir. This is how we address bar screens. They are made in SS, and if there is space, we always go for a 2-screen setup. The screen in front is a 5 mm, 7 mm or 10 mm slotted screen fabricated on site. The screen behind it is a 4 mm or 5 mm punched sheet. So we hope to catch everything. Next slide, please. Equalization tanks. Bar screen failure leads to choking, clogging of equalization tanks. In a typical 150, 200 KL STP, which we are called to repair, refurbish, the max we've taken out is like 33 truckloads of derbis. Next slide, please. HVAC and biochemistry. Biochemistry I cannot show here. It is up to operator skill, up to my process engineers, up to our environmental engineers to set the biochemistry of your plant. If the biochemistry of the plant is not proper, the plant will start generating helium, it will start generating ammonia, it will start generating sulfur, which leads to dampness, which leads to corrosion. And in conjunction to it, insult to injury, 9 out of 10 STPs that we visit, the HVAC doesn't work. The AHU, the air handling unit, doesn't work. By law, 25 air changes per hour has to be there. 9 out of 10 STPs, the HVAC doesn't work. Oh, we've turned it off, Mr. Aditya, because it was creating lot of noise, or the upper floor where our president lives, he was getting smell. He was getting smell because your operator doesn't know what to do with biochemistry. Right? So, both HVAC and biochemistry leads to two things: rust, corrosion, dampness. Because of dampness, because of precipitation, pumps and motors start failing day in and day out. It's an electromechanical device. Water is bad for it. Right? And then you have rust, you have corrosion. And then when you call someone like us to come, they say, how did this happen? Boss, I just came here half an hour ago. So another example, you see, virtually everything there is, yes sir. MLSS is a part of biochemistry. If you go to a good operator, MLSS doesn't matter. putting MLSS in that jar and saying, okay, my MLSS is 200, 300, 400, doesn't matter at all. It's the color of the MLSS. It's how tightly it coagulates. Right? So biochemistry is a whole lot of things, and I can't show biochemistry. Right? The best way is probably come down to one of my STPs. We can have lunch inside one of my STPs. In fact, we can do this meeting inside one of my STPs. Right, next slide, please. Then our residents. We are all educated. All of you spend lot of money, wet waste, dry waste, reject waste. 90% of the reject waste comes here. If you look at, can you go to the previous slide, please? No, the next slide, please. So, paint. Okay, I don't like three things in an apartment. Someone getting their flat painted, I hate. Someone calling Urban Clap or someone from these online portals to do deep cleaning of kitchen and toilet, I don't like. Every time paint or any chemical comes into the STP, it affects the biochemistry of the plant. And typically, all this activity happens Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, it takes for someone like us who claims to understand biochemistry to recover the plant. But 9 out of 10 places, they do nothing about it. Or, I hope Sneha is not listening, they just put one pump and, throw it over the wall. Right? So, next slide, please. If you look at this, it's just the mouth of the pump. And this is all the stuff that has come out from that pump. Every time we open a pump or a motor, we are reducing the life of that pump or the motor. Post-COVID, we see a lot of pet hair, we see matchsticks, we see agarbattis, we see cocoa peat. The usual culprits are, sanitary pads, tampons, condoms. Recently, last week, we took out a Bombay dyeing double bed sheet out of the STP. I don't know how they flushed it. That was the first thing that I said, no? Bombay dyeing double bed sheet, guys. How, they need some Oscar or I don't know, Padma Bhushan or I don't know, I'm not very educated. What is the appropriate award, I don't know. Who flushes down a double bed sheet? No, but the Bombay dyeing label was there, sir. Bombay dyeing should get the Oscar, fine. So what happens is every time we open a pump, we open a motor, it causes wear and tear, downtime, and the life of the pump reduces. 30 times if I've opened a pump, after that it's useless. And then you'll call me on a Saturday or a Sunday and say, how, why, what happened to my pump? Next slide, please. 150 KL apartment, all those barrels are filled in a 24-hour period. Every 45 minutes, if our operator doesn't clean the bar screen, there will be someone like Raghu or someone else going and skinning them alive. Provided the bar screen is as per our specs. So this is just a 150 KL apartment's bar screen, a little high-end apartment, so each of them have those exotic dogs and cats and things like that. Injection syringe, in this particular site, injection syringes, matchsticks, agarbattis, tablet medicine wrappers, right? Who flushes down medicine wrappers down an STP? Yeah. Chairman of couple of banks live there. Some big shot of ISRO also lives there, and things like that. And in the once manned flights become the norm, I don't know what they're going to do with the satellites STP. But it is far, far better and cheaper to replace equipment, because whatever your builder gave, or your association would have repaired things 8 times, 10 times, whatever, There are only two people who make money when you repair pumps and motors. It's the guy who is repairing the pump and it's your property manager. Right? It is far, far cheaper to replace. And for God's sake, if that builder has given you a Ferrari of a pump, there is no shame in going to a Maruti of a pump. It is one-third the cost. It will carry a 1-2 year warranty. It is thermally much, much more efficient. And it will give you the required flow rate. When you get pumps, indiscriminately, when you get pumps, motors and whatever repaired, no one checks or certified whether it is giving you that 40 metric cube or 60 metric cube or whatever of flow rate. It's only burning electricity. So we are vendor agnostic, depending on your budget and depending on whatever, we can manage in that budget. We suggest alternative brands. It's not like, I'll come and say, the big Ferraris or the Mercedes or whatever. A pump is a pump. It's like a car tire. It's eventually going to wear out. It's going to get punctured. So brand doesn't matter here. Next. This is what we do. We do sewage treatment plants ranging from 100 KLD to 300 KLD, MLD, 300 million liters. We do water treatment only if it is above 1 KLD a day, and then we do tertiary treatment. But tertiary treatment we do more so in the municipal space. But if anyone needs tertiary treatment from 300 KLD to 300 MLD is the sweet spot in which we operate. However, we are very, very focused only on sewage treatment plants. And if by chance the customer asks us, will you do my WTP or will you do my something else? We don't do swimming pools, we do. We don't go in the market proactively searching for opportunities other than sewage treatment plants. We also don't have a sales team, so you will not see or hear us coming and knocking at your doors unless you contact us on the phone or via email or via our website. We don't address anyone. And we've been like that from day one. I don't know why, but we've been like that from day one. Next slide, please. So we design and build STPs. We repair, refurbish, recommission STPs. AMCs and O&M we do. We do inspection and audits for residential, industrial and commercial customers. Our repair, refurbishment and upgrade and recommission business is about 75-80% of our turnover. So internally, we, in jest we say that our business runs because of OPM, other people's mistakes. And we, as a company policy, we don't work with the A, B, C, Ds of the world. The architect, builder, consultant, developers of the world, we don't work. We are a pure play secondary market player. We work only with apartment associations or owners of that STPs. We do not work with the ABCDs of this world. Next slide, please. So whether it's a 5 HP pump to my right or a 500 HP pump from a municipal STP, and the corresponding size of an STP, it doesn't matter. And we have the capability to repair these pieces of equipment in-house. Next slide, please. The easy way, of builders, developers or your existing vendor is to put those multi-port valves which cost 4,500 rupees. It's a very nice piece of equipment, and because 90% of them are made in China, for the last 7 years they don't have a rinse option. It is only service and backwash. There's no rinse option in it, and the limitation is 3 bar of pressure. Hence, the treated water is like that. This was done by one of our competitors to a customer whom we recently acquired, who has 2 STPs. In the next slide, we will show you what we do. So we take a little more complicated approach, and in half an hour, it started producing water like that. 90% of customers who come and visit our STPs close with us. The other 10% don't close with us because they don't agree to our terms and conditions, or they don't like my ugly face. So we'll not talk about that 10%. We don't engage or we don't quote in any opportunity unless you've come and visited 2, 3, 4 of our STPs. Next slide, please. Operations and maintenance. So what do we do in operations and maintenance? Next slide, please. I'm like the driver of your car. You have an STP, I will operate it and maintain it for you. Right? So whether it is municipal or whether it is apartment, doesn't matter. Next slide, please. Repair, upgrade, recommission, whether it is repairing any piece of equipment, electromechanical or otherwise, we do it in-house. Whether it is civil work, whether it is anything else, also we do it in-house. You have to be married to us. That's why the 10% don't come. It depends case to case. Depends. Next slide, please. So we've got our own STP management app. It's an ERP for STPs, which we offer as a value add to our customers who are willing to A, pay for it, and B, provide us an internet connection inside the STP. We give you the desktop for free, desktop or laptop from Greentivity's side for free. It's a game changer. We've viewed lot of solutions in the market, and finally we decided that the solution that we use in the municipal STP is the right way to go, and this is an offshoot of that. In fact, Mr. Ramesh Bhupalam of Ziac Softwares is right here. He's the creator of this. So when we quote for this, it is actually Ziac that you're paying, and we just facilitate it. Helps you do so many things. So much of unnecessary talk, unnecessary friction between you and us gets eliminated. Last week I have put in the WhatsApp group saying raw sewage pump 1 I have taken for repair. Next week I'll put raw sewage 2 I have put. You will miss that raw sewage 2. I'll say why last week? And then you know what your residents and your MC will do on this one. With this, history cards of every piece of equipment is there for you to see, for me to see. Attendance, shift rostering, site consumables, X, Y, Z, everything is there. So this is Aqua STP. So we've got our own system. And even if you don't want Greentivity in your STP, you can implement Aqua STP. Next slide, please. Someone said that we are in the top 10 in the country, but the numbers don't tally. And most of our customers highly recommend us to, the rest of the market or the customers. Next slide, please. The Greentivity culture, we work hard, we party really hard. Most of us do multiple things. Half of my team can cook. Whether you give them a gas stove or a microwave or just 3 stones and some firewood, they can cook. The largest gathering of people that we've cooked is 140 people in one evening. So we value our team very, very much, and we expect our customers also to do the same. We've walked out of customer places where we were treated badly or where the customer said, normally how STP vendors or STP employees are treated. All that doesn't gel with us. So that's it. I'm done. Please do come and visit any one of our STPs. Monday to Friday is an ideal time to come. It will take about 1 hour or 2 hours depending on what you want to see. Right? I'm serious. You can have this meeting inside any one of our STPs. And every KSPCB hates Greentivity because every time they come and check, they'd find nothing. Thank you. I'm open to taking questions now.
This was a great opportunity to hear you talk about it, and I have also tried to go deeper into this STP thing in our apartment. And as you mentioned, there's quite a lot of stuff that goes into it and takes a lot of pain by these people to manage it. However, to cut short and make it limited to one question, there was something that I was very interested to understand, something called sewage press. We have a sewage press and it is non-functional, like some small hole. And would your team be able to manage that, and how do we take out sludge and where do we deposit? Is there something that you could talk about?
So, at Greentivity, we do not advocate any human being coming into contact with sewage. So the sewage press that you mentioned is a screw press, right? That plate kind of thing, right? We don't use it. We either use belt presses, we either use centrifuges. These are much more expensive than those screw presses or plate-based presses, but they take the human element out of it. Now it all depends. Now what kind of a sludge handling system you need depends on the amount of sludge being generated, the volume of sludge. So typically, whatever 150, 200 KL plants that we see in apartments generate some 300-400 kilos of sludge in a day. Whereas in our STPs, it's about 500 kilos of sludge in a month. Why? It's because of biochemistry. Right? Sludge is a big issue. If you have 150, 200 kilos in a day, it's very difficult and painful to manage. And if you do a back of the envelope calculation on how much of money you are spending in terms of getting it disposed, via tankers or tractors or whatever, it's a lot of money. But then if you set your biochemistry right, the volume of sludge being generated comes down. Right? If your sludge is pale brown, light brown in color and not dark black, there's a problem with your plant's biochemistry. And we don't advocate the use of those sludge presses.
You said it will reduce it by that much. That's great, appreciable. But my question is, if we take a contract or something like that, who will take the process? Because we are not supposed to do the effluence exposure to outside. Something has to be taken out.
Yeah, so whether it is sludge or whether it is all that unwanted debris that I showed in that bins, as your STP vendor, my responsibility ends with binning it. I will bin it and put it outside the STP. It is for your estate manager to get it disposed as reject waste.
Follow question. Can we dispose the sludge through waste?
Yeah, reject waste.
Is it KSPCB advised?
I'll have to check on it. But yes, it gets sent out as reject waste. And if you have a sizable quantity, like in some municipal STPs, I have about 9 tons, 10 tons in a day. There are a lot of forums where, the farmers come and collect it and go as manure.
Okay. One more thing is, what are the critical parameters does this KSPCB look into so that they doesn't shut the ETP plant? Maybe most critical 3 parameters which we need to daily basis we have to see. Is it like I don't know BOD, yes. COD and all they say? Those parameters are, is it critical, and is it can we check it on daily basis, or because it's all lab related, I think? So is it do we have any ways to check it?
See, as per law, your treated water has to be tested by a NABL approved laboratory once a month, right? Then there is this whole buzz about IoT and sensors, and a lot of people come and peddle online monitoring and all, right? Just because we are able to do TTT on our phones and order food on Swiggy, right? But still some human being is cooking it, right? So you are the best judge. When you flush it, if it is crystal clear, there is no floating matter in it, there is no smell, that is the easier way, because whatever sensors we've encountered, they don't last more than 3 weeks or 3 months. And to do some enterprise grade sensor like what we have in a municipal STP, each sensor costs 7-8 lakhs. Right? And all this IoT sensors and all emanates either from China or from Europe. There is no dal, rasam, rice, sambar concept there. Our sewage is much more acidic. So whatever sensors you put, the cheaper ones, they tend to foul. or get corroded. So personally, I wouldn't advise right now until technology evolves and the sensors, the good sensors become affordable, I wouldn't advise it. But yes, there are ways and means. There are a lot of people in the market who will come and give you one jug kind of a thing and say you put 4 AA batteries in it and swirl it and it will show and all. But whenever we have tested out these things, they don't work.
No, my question is, what all the parameters do we need to see?
The same 7 parameters that KSPCB has published that comes in your treated water report, sir.
Okay.
COD, BOD, nitrogen, chemical oxygen demand, fecal coliform, so on
Because
and so forth.
recently, one of the, apartment they have raided. I mean, they took the water without informing. They entered and taken the water, and they, fined 5 lakhs fine on that apartment. And still, it's happened 6 months back, and case is going on in the court. So that has happened. So that's why the surprise visit they do, and they collect the water without informing. They'll take the water and they say, you are not maintaining the
See, an STP is supposed to run 24/7 by 365, right? It is not some TV or something that you switch on between 7 and 9 p.m., right? So they have the right to come, in my personal view, they have the right to come anytime and collect it. If they inform and come you can do so many things to set it right, no? For that small period. That's why they don't inform and come. But anyway, it's best left to them.
Sir, great presentation. One quick question here. This is regarding the MOEF, Ministry of Environment and Clearance, and EIA, Environment Impact Assessment. So when a project is designed, so the environment clearance comes only on declaration of what is the capacity of your STP. So whatever is declared in that and what has been built on site, whether these two should match, or there is a possibility that the developer can actually make a much larger STP. Because the water quantity is getting decided based on the occupancy and then the total number of units which have been planned, what is the total population there. Why I am asking you this question is because it has a renewal process also and maintenance also. So the size of STP, whether 500, 750 or 1000, is going to decide the cost, which is monthly. If it is, for instance, more than 1000 KLD, then it is going to attract about 2.5 lakh rupees every year as a license renewal fee, which has to be done for 5 years. So that comes to 12.5 lakh rupees. So in our case, the STP was actually in the MOEF, it is said as 785 KLD. But actually what is built on site, and the CFO has also been received for 1015 KLD or something like that.
Okay. 10 out of 10 times when we ask for as-built civil drawings of your STP, no association is able to provide it. The reason we ask it is, most of you give the sanction plan, right? Or whatever is in the CFE and say, this is my STP. 10 out of 10 times there is no match between what was sanctioned and what you actually have inherited, right? So that's why you need to get it surveyed, you need to get it verified, because 10 out of 10 times any apartment association that we ask for, please give me the as-built civil drawings. Because plan sanction is one thing, but the as-built civil drawing will at least give you a relatively clearer picture or a truer picture, right? Doesn't happen. So there are 10 out of 10 times there are these things that exist that we have seen. I think the gentleman was standing up before you, sir. Please, I'll come back to you.
Thank you. I belong to this Prestige Falcon City apartments. We have 1,750 KLD STPs. Now, is there, what are the safety measures? Is there any gas sensors required, which is a part of the STP, or can you please brief me on the safety aspect on the STP?
So, in your case, sir, and I'm reasonably aware of your case, and I have recently, in August, I've acquired a similar property by the similar developer with a 935 KL STP. my preconditions to take over the O&M of that STP were: one, show me 2 crores to repair it. 2, I need 36 CCTV cameras in that STP. 2. 3, I need a revamp of your air handling unit. 4, all the pumps and motors, despite the property being handed over only 3 years ago, were undersized and worn out. So where he has to give 15 HP, he has given 5 HP. And he's run the 5 HP for 36 hours in a day. Nothing can be done to repair it. 5, there are civil issues. 6, people can die in those STPs.
Yeah,
Right.
see, coming
So,
to... yeah.
so even if you put gas sensors or whatever, right, your problem is with biochemistry, your problem is with plant design, your problem is with undersized equipment, right? And the L1 culture of whoever is running your property, some of those people, because it's a similar case, so confidently I'm saying, some of those operators, didn't even know the difference between a submersible pump and a monoblock pump, right? And no one built such big STPs in apartments. Instead of building 2 or 3 smaller ones, which would have been easier to maintain, this is the case. So I've learnt my lesson. 2 such projects we are involved in, and twice beaten and shy now. So it's a lot of work to get it up. So putting a sensor, putting this, that, and all are temporary fixes. What will happen if 1 year after you put the sensor, the next committee comes and says switch it off? Or it gets spoiled and there's no AMC and no one is taking care of it. So these are all temporary band-aid fixes, sir.
Yeah, I mean, coming back to your the list of the things, I totally agree. AHU is underperforming. It is not sufficient. And the motors or the pumps are undersized. We have replaced already. Instead of 5, 10 HP, 15 HP, what is required is done. I mean, to an extent, so that the thing can run. So now my question was like, is it a part of any STP to have these safety systems installed already, or it is a additional requirement kind of a thing? As per the design, as per the system.
It is safety systems. When they say, they talk of signboards, they talk of proper lighting, they talk of 25 air changes a minute, they talk of PPE kits, gloves, gumboots. The law per se does not talk of sensors or gas sensors and things like that, sir.
Okay, understood.
So it is optional. It is for you to do.
Okay. So, I mean, just a minute.
Maybe we'll catch up offline.
Yeah, sure.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'm here the whole day, sir.
Take it. Okay. You have
Sir.
Our water intake every day is between 80,000 liters and 1 lakh liters. So I just want to know, what is the law? We do the treatment of the water, etc. Our land area is not more than about 2.5 acres. So we are not able to use all the water in the garden. So I don't know there's a little bit of confusion. Are we allowed to discharge the treated water outside or no? Can we do it in the stormwater drain? In fact, when the building was made and initial sanctions were taken, there was a sanction for the discharge of the treated water to the UGD. But somehow the builder did not make the connection to the UGD. So I just want to know, I'm sure many other apartments are facing this issue.
Okay. Broadly speaking, it is difficult to push consumption of STP treated water above 75-80%. There are a lot of apartments where we've gone where they were consuming only 30-40%, and we've cried, craved, shouted, educated, whatever, and pushed it up. Okay. So anything non-potable, you can use STP treated water depending on the quality of water you are getting. So if I take an example of some apartments where we operate, right from car washing to mopping and sweeping the floors to the flushing of toilets obviously, and garden and a couple of other uses, we help them to push it, right? But then in a lot of projects we see that there is no dual pump plumbing itself, right? So unless you're using a large quantity of that water goes for gardening and flushing. So if you don't have dual plumbing and if you are not using it for gardening and other things, then there is an issue, and there is a notification that says you can't put it in UGD, you can put it in stormwater drain. But recently they are saying you have to be ZLD and you cannot even put it in the stormwater drain. Yeah, post-tertiary treatment, because it's high in nitrogen and ammonia, right? You'll be ruining the groundwater. Sir, case to case basis, we'll have to find out. There is no one size fits all answer, right? See, if you look at one of my customers who has a 186 scale STP, their inflow per day, and this has been a customer of ours from the last 4 years, the inflow of sewage per day is only 68 KL in a 186 KL plant. Now we worked with that customer and did 3 things. One, we got them to put tap water aerators. 2, we got them to put water meters not only for their domestic water but also for their STP water. And we decided on a slab, and above that slab, if they consumed water, the water became very, very prohibitively expensive. So if you don't do these 2 things, then no one is going to fix leaky taps, no one is going to fix leaky cisterns and indiscriminately use water. Vikas is here. We collaborate with Vikas. Any place where there is more than 100 KL of good quality STP treated water, and ideally your STP vendor should be Greentivity, Vikas will come and set up his plant, and he'll take the water away and sell it to industry and give you a percentage of it also. Right? Sir, I'm an STP vendor. I'm not competent or qualified on answering that.
Thank you. Actually, it's not very clear. The NGT says that zero discharge, you can't discharge anything. But once a meter through SSP, you can see that you can discharge to stormwater drain. It's not very clear.
Sir, that is...
Aditya, if I may, I think we're going into specifics, and Mr. Aditya and his team are here for the rest of the day. We have other sessions that we need to also go to. I have two more questions, Ms. Valli, and you were standing. We'll just finish 2 questions and one online, and then we go for tea break. Up to you.
Hi Aditya.
Hi.
So very common question. So that this is with respect to the cost, and most of the apartment people would have faced. So why do you have to pay so much for revamping the STPs and other things? So it is very hard to convince to each and every resident in the complex. So any suggestions or any this kind? I know it's out of topic, but it might solve a problem of ours.
See, the problem comes with, an STP is not a piece of your infrastructure that is looked and touched very often. Right? You say 10 lakhs, 20 lakhs, 50 lakhs, 1 crore to revamp the lifts. Next day you can collect the money. You say, I'm going to get this building painted. In 2 months you can collect the money. The minute you say STP, doesn't happen. This is a challenge. Like currently we are doing a 3 crore refurbishment of an STP. It's not a small society. 2 sitting MLAs and 1 sitting MP reside in that building, and we've waited 3 years for them to convince themselves and come up with that money. Of course, we are taking it from a BS, it's a 16-year-old STP. We are taking it from a BS1 specification and to a BS6. Right? So we'll have to work together and find ways. The easiest way is, see, for a 300 KLD plant, recently we had quoted some 30 odd lakhs, and the payback was 1.5 months. If you calculate that much of water that you are buying by a a 10,000 liter tanker every day. See, it's our third source of water. We all are going through a crisis. On one end of the spectrum, we are heavily shelling out money to buy those tankers. Right? You go outside any municipal STP, you will see 400 to 600 tankers being filled. It's STP treated water that's coming to your flats. And you are paying through your nose for it. It's just because you are unaware. Where is the groundwater? Where is the river water for someone to be buying, 50, 60, 70 tankers of water? You go outside any municipal STP, you will see 400 to 600 tankers of water being filled every day. And we are all buying that water and drinking it. When you have an STP, all you have to do is fix that STP, come to me, come to anyone else, then go to Vikas, tertiary treatment, closed loop system. You are secure.
Next question.
This is just in response to the checking of STP by by Pollution Control Board. Now, when they come to check your STP water, they are supposed to ask one of the MC or the estate manager to be present. They have to take one sample of water. It has to be divided into two and sealed. One has to be given to you. They will take one. This is the procedure.
Thank you.
So if that procedure is not followed, you can always tell in court. Now, this was, I think, taken up by Bangalore Apartment Federation. And after when that Bellandur Lake fire thing, no? After that, a lot of apartments
This
were
was
fined.
Valianti, Aditya. 2018-19, when all of us got notices ranging from 5 lakhs to 7 crores, what we found was, and this is Aditya of BAF talking, what we found was that the Water Act was not followed. They didn't follow this process. They came back and said, we work Monday to Friday, whereas your apartment's MC is available only Saturday, Sunday. The matter is sub judice.
Thank you. For all those who don't know, we have BAF members here, Bangalore Apartment Federation, the Government Council people, and you can also talk to them. Highly experienced and know a lot of stuff, not only subject matter experts like us. So they have experience over a wide area of topics. Now I'm going to the online question, which is the last one, Aditya. Mr. Ganesh Kumar asks, how STP capacity is fixed? Is there quantity per flat used? When the total capacity is calculated, is the per flat water quantity goes beyond the limit? What to do? I'm sorry, I've not corrected. Yeah, I'm just read as is.
As per the published guideline, which was published sometime in the early or mid 80s, the building code says that 135 liters of sewage per person per day is what we generate. Okay, I personally differ with that because at that time we didn't have health faucets and rain showers or pressure pumps or bathtubs, right? So as a general thumb of rule, if you take 150 to 170 liters of sewage per person per day, depending on, where in the social spectrum your apartment is, you should be safe. Now, the other thing is where a lot of people miss out in this calculation is, in a 1-bedroom flat, you should take occupancy as 3 people. 2-bedroom, 5 people. 3-bedroom should be 7 to 8 people. And then 15% loading you should do to accommodate all your staff and visitors. Visitors 15%, and then depending on the number of flats, calculate 1.5 maid, driver, whatever, right, plus your common area staff, but calculate only 50 to 75 liters per day for them and you will arrive at the capacity. In fact, I was supposed to put that because that's one of the first things that we check when we go into any apartment. As a thumb rule, for a decent size apartment, we take 150, 160 liters per person per day, 3 people per single bedroom, 5 people per double bedroom, and 7 people or 8 people. And then some of these apartments have, servant quarters inside and things like that. So you have to factor all that in, and that helps you derive the capacity. With few builders, we find that the STPs are over capacity, but with most builders, we find that it is under capacity. Cubic capacity of the tanks has to be calculated. You can go to anyone who does surveys. They will come and check it and give you the thing. All the tanks. Yeah.
Capacity of this one.
Yeah.
Is it that is the way?
Yeah.
Then disposal of STP water, many of people have discussed, that is a major problem, sir. How to dispose the STP water? Storm water or outside drains?
Sir, personally, I feel it should all go into the storm water. If it is high quality treated water, personally, I feel it should go to the storm water. But somewhere, I don't know where it got twisted, and they are saying now you can't put it into the storm water drain also. It's impractical. Let me be blunt here. It is impractical unless you have a tertiary and a closed loop system. It is impractical to achieve ZLD status.
Some of the facilities, they provided exhaust system for ventilation purpose. Supply, in my case, is a -2 basement. There is air from the fresh air is not coming to the premises. Only they keep exhausting the air only. Sometimes if that is not working, the premises will be starving for the
Sir,
good air.
though,
Something
there are ways and means, sir, but I'm not a HVAC vendor, and for all my HVAC requirements also, we work with 7 or 8 HVAC consultants.
Okay, sir. Sir, the flow meters, anything required, sir, in STP intake and discharge? Any flow meters is recommended, sir?
Yes, sir.
What type of flow meters we can look into it?
Sir, the cheapest mechanical flow meters, right, are enough.
Enough, sir. Okay.
Unless you want something to come up on your mobile phone and all, it's not required.
Okay.
Right from 4,500 rupees to 15,000 rupees, you get those brass flow meters.
Okay.
They will work, and they work very well.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
My time's up? Okay. I'm here the whole day. I'm here the whole day. So that's been on my wish list. And so far I've recruited Mr. Vikas Brahmavar and Dr. Anant Kodavatsal into one WhatsApp group. And every Monday morning I say, shame on us, even the autowalas have their union, we don't have a union. That's work in progress, sir. So, as a parting shot, right? Whatever all of us consider as minimum wage for the STP operator is wrong. 14,500 is wrong. STP operator minimum wage recommended by Karnataka Labour Department is 26,500. Thank you.
Thank you, Aditya sir. It was a wonderful presentation. I now ask Zohar to hand over the sapling to you. Thank you. A big round of applause to him. Thank you. Now we have a tea break. Exactly 15 minutes we'll reassemble here.